So if you haven't heard, there's this really interesting series of videos by the YouTuber Broke Tourist, in which he met this Japanese woman at a club and she invited him to live with her in his house. I like the series, I like their content, but I wanted to give you a little bit of context about what's going on behind the scenes in the situation and give you some advice if you do decide to move in with a Japanese girl that you meet. First, let me talk about the situation in the video. Since she's a DJ and she liked his style, I'm guessing that she also is a hip hop DJ into hip hop or things like that, which is totally cool. And they seem like a good match for each other. Typically, these type of women normally, find a dude they like their style and go after him. She's also older, which is a really important point. So she's been around the block, in my opinion. I'm not saying she's been sleeping around a lot. I don't know her. I'm not trying to bash her or anything like that. But I'm guessing he's not the first foreign guy that she's messed with at all. So she's the kind of woman, she knows what she likes. She saw what she liked and she went after it. I wouldn't call her a gaijin hunter because those type of girls are generally a little bit more manic in in their energy. She seemed a lot more chill and probably someone that I would like to hang out with, to be honest with you. She seems like a really cool lady, woman, girl to hang out with. Now, because she's cool and experienced, she could kind of tell what she wants in a guy, and she saw that in him. Also, my guess is she could also tell from his atmosphere that he was new to Japan. So she wanted to scoop him up before any other Japanese girls got him or he started dating around in Japan. That's probably what part of the reason why she invited him to live with her. She could tell by his atmosphere that he wasn't shady, he had some style about him that she liked, and she probably just wanted him as her boy toy for an extended period of time. Not saying like she had any like malicious motives or anything like that, but she probably wasn't thinking too deep about it. Just like, I want that, and went for it when after they started talking. Now, for me, the difficult part of this situation comes outside of the club. And if you watch their interactions, he's still kind of stuck in his ways because he's not really familiar with Japan and he doesn't really have the flexibility that's needed to really date a Japanese woman. She's trying to introduce him to a lot of things that are kind of outside his wheelhouse. And he's like, nah, I don't really want to do that. I'm not feeling that. And in the Western way that we have to talk, but you could tell that she started getting annoyed with several things, even though she didn't say anything. She still was having fun with him, but she wanted to introduce him to Japan. And a lot of times when you meet girls when you're new to Japan, you gotta let them introduce you to the culture, the life here, and basically don't say no to a lot of things. You just have to go with the flow because they're trying to show you their culture, introduce you to their world to have a deeper connection with you. He was just along for the ride and having fun. But you gotta think, if you're along for the ride, you gotta kind of follow the person who's steering the boat. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of wasn't following that formula a little bit, especially since she was older. She was getting a little bit annoyed in several different situations, but he was younger and he's cute, so she went with it. Also, it was clear to me she definitely wanted to get in his pants, and he was kind of like wishy washy with everything. You gotta show her some love, man. You gotta let her know that you're down to please her, you know what I'm saying, where it counts is in my opinion. He didn't really do as good of a job of that. Maybe because it wasn't his personality, maybe because she came on so strong, he kind of felt like, yay, I got this in the bag. I'm just gonna go for the ride. But she definitely wanted some physical compensation for her time, if you know what I'm saying. So now let's imagine you are in a similar type of situation. It might not be a milfy lady that scooped you up in the club. It might be just your girlfriend or things like that. But watching this video and paying attention to the woman's atmosphere, I think can be really, really useful for people who are in a similar situation or who have just started living with a Japanese woman. Because you're probably not going to pick up on a lot of the mild frustrations that they feel, especially in the beginning, and if you're in a deeper relationship, you might start picking up on things when it's too late, when she's already had it up to here with you not understanding what she's thinking and what she's feeling. With Japanese people, those small stresses kind of build up until one day you're just confronted with a huge blow up and you have no idea where it came from. So I always tell people who are newer to Japan, who are living with their girlfriend, you got to really pay attention to what your partner is not saying, like the small frustrations, the small ways they look away, or if they, exhale under their breath. They're trying to they want to express something to you, but they know you won't understand anyway, so it's not even worth it. There could also be the language barrier involved as well, where they don't even want to be frustrated trying to explain things to you because they know they can't explain it to you, or you might not even be able to pick up on what they're saying anyway. She's made a judgment call based on your personality, how far she will explain things to you, way before she even says anything to you. So you have to understand that there's going to be that huge gap between what you're seeing and perceiving from her versus what she's actually thinking and the reality of the situation. I went through this too with my wife in the first couple years of our relationship. I thought everything was hunky dory and I knew exactly what she was thinking. But as my Japanese skill improved and my understanding of Japanese people and culture, expanded, I realized that there was a lot I was missing in a lot of different situations. And I had to really change my approach and change my perception on how I handled her. And over time, it got a lot better. Of course, even after 20 years, I'm not perfect at it. There's still stuff that I miss or I don't understand. But especially in the beginning, probably like 80% of the stuff that she's thinking and feeling, you're not really going to pick up on. She's just happy to be with you, mostly on a superficial level. This relationship is very superficial. She's a cool guy who's her type, who's new. She knows is new to Japan. She's physically attracted to and wants to be with. She's pretty milfy and kind of cool chick to hang out with who's going to show him around Japan. Those type of relationships probably last a week or two at best before real hurdles of everyday life get in the way and things, break off or peter out. I've seen it happen with several people I know who just came here for vacations. So that's how I want you to think about it. Understand whether you're in it for the short term or the long term. Even if things were short term and turn into long term, you have to understand the game that you're in and understand that there's a lot that you're going to have to catch up on. And the learning curve is pretty steep, depending on the girl's personality, how flexible she is, and how deep the relationship goes. If you want to know more about getting into relationships, check out the next video and I'll give you some more tips.